All right, today we're going to be talking about Waveform 8, which is the recording software for Behringer mixers. So if you just take your cursor down here, you'll see the icon for Waveform 8. Just open that there. And the first thing that's going to happen is there's going to be this available downloads box. You don't need that, so just go ahead and hit close. And let's expand our screen here so we can get the most out of this. So you're going to start a project, but we got to check the settings first. So here's the settings here. And right now you can see this input is built-in microphone. You don't really want that. When you have the mixer plugged in, you'll see a selection here that says XR18. You want to select that for just your inputs. Okay, so you'll select that and you got that set there. And then for the output, you want to select built-in output so that you can hear it through your laptop speakers, or plug in headphones, or plug in through the headphones some studio monitors and that kind of thing. So that's what's going on there. So for sanity right now, I've got it set up a little bit differently so that I can mirror the screens here. So we got that done. Let's go to projects. Down in the bottom left there, you can see right there, you want to do a new project. Just for sanity, normal location would be like the documents, but for sanity right now, we're just going to save it to the desktop. So we're just going to call this a test, and then we're going to do right here, create project. And then now we got all of our settings. We're going to double click on that, and you'll start to see here's our mixer window. So for track one, what you're going to do is select in the very middle of it, just click it, and you're going to select input one. So track one is input one. And then you're going to arm the right here in this section here, you're going to arm for recording. You click that, see how that's red now. And what we're going to do is down here in the bottom right is like your play, record, rewind, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and hit record here. And testing 1, 2, testing check. This is the Behringer, testing 1, 2, testing check. Go ahead and hit stop. The first thing you're going to want to do though is you're going to want to unarm this for recording. So just go ahead and turn that off. You can see how that kind of grayed out. And then you're going to go down here to the, it's got 2 arrows to the left and a dash. That's to bring this cursor right here, this big white line. You want this big white line to always be on 0 as you're recording so everything lines up. So we're going to hear what that sounds like. We're going to hit play. And testing 1, 2, testing check. This is the Behringer, testing 1, 2, testing check. So we know that that's working okay. So now, because we're going to do another track just so we can hear back what the second track is going to sound like, over here to the right you'll see a red M and a green S. And the red M is for mute, the green S is for solo. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, in the middle, click on track 2. We want input 2. And you can see right here, you can see the input coming in. And because I selected track 2, down here in the very bottom, this whole box dialog right here, you can see the record level right there. Check, check. And so those are like your details for track 2 as you're recording. So we're going to arm the channel again so that this is red. We're going to come down here, hit record. Testing 1, 2, testing check, testing 1, 2, testing check. Okay, so we got that. We're going to disarm that, and we're going to come back here, and we're going to go ahead and just unmute this so you can hear the two together, like if you had a really good guitar track and you're trying to do a mix. Testing 1, 2, testing check. This is the Behringer, testing 1, 2, testing check. Testing 1, 2, testing check, testing 1, 2, testing. And so there's track 2, and that's a good thing. We've got these down. So if you take this cursor, go up to the very, very right, I don't know if you can see it right here, there's like a little slider image. If you click on that, this mixer will expand, and these are your level controls for individual channels. They're just like your faders. And then you have a pan here, and the mute and solo are also on those channels. So if you go back, we got our cursor on 0 here. Let's go back all the way. Record here, and testing 1, 2. And you can see this is the Behringer. You can adjust the levels of that particular testing 1, 2, testing track. Check, testing so let's hit stop here. So this is just a basic setup. You can toggle up here in the upper right between just seeing the waveforms and seeing the actual mixer of to adjust your levels and that kind of thing. So let's come out of this for just a second where we can see down here in this bottom left, you're going to see save. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to hit Save, Edit. And so now if you turned off the program or quit out of the program, everything is saved. So this is just a basic of this right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to close this, and we're going to open up something that I've done live with an entire band. And so you can see there's a lot going on right here. This is a full band live, full drum set mic'd, the whole 9 yards. Now if you want to, like I said, you want to get out of this and just see your waveforms, you go to the upper right, and you can see the waveforms right here of what is there. You can scroll down by that right slider there of what is actually going on there. So what we want to do is go back to that mixer, and you can see how narrow this is where the tracks are super, super small. In this section right here, if you want to get it bigger so you can see more detail, just click that top one there. And now you can see everything. Like, okay, on Dylan's vocals, we have added a reverb and an EQ. So if we want to see the exact settings of that EQ, just click on that plugin right there that I put on that channel. And down here in the bottom, once again, because we've selected his track, you can see the details of that track. Here's all the EQ right there. You can see I've rolled off a lot of low end to bring a more crisp presence in the actual mix. And if you want to add a plugin, we'll show you that in just a second, but this right here is what's important. You're going to want to label all this stuff as you're recording. So put the cursor right in the middle there, double click, we'll call this guitar, and then just hit return, and now it's saved as this is a guitar track. And they have different colors and stuff like that, just to kind of help differentiate. But if you want to add a plugin like just an EQ, you can come in right here where this little plus sign is, make sure you're on the right track when you're doing that. You click plus sign and you're going to see this drop down menu. This little drop down menu, I usually use just the Waveform plugins, and then I go here and I can add a 4-band EQ. So you click that there, and you can see down here, like I said, immediately what's on that track has now been, you have the track details. So you can see here, I'm adjusting this EQ here. I want to change the way the slope is a little bit, and you can do all that right there. And that's just how you add a plugin. Sometimes you want some reverb, sometimes you want some compression, stuff like that. But once again, if you want to get out of this, you come back up to that upper right icon right there. It looks like a couple of little sliders, and then you can get back to your waveforms and see like, hey, this recorded pretty good, or I want to edit this waveform here so that I can get rid of the stuff in the track that I just don't want. So once again, we've got this right here, and then here's your fader mixers. Now if you want to make it a little more slender or a little bit narrower tracks, you can click the one below it. You can see this. I don't typically like to use this one as much because I don't have as much access to the faders, but this will help you look at how many plugins you have per channel. And then if you go to this narrow one here, that'll show you a little bit better of what's going on. So what we can do here is, let me go ahead and click this so you can hear what this sounds like. And basically these tracks, what you want, so you can hear we've got the band going, but I want to just hear Cole's guitar. So you're just hitting solo on his channel. And if you just don't like that, you want to come over here and check that snare sound, those kinds of things. Or I want to go down and hear John's keyboard. So there's John's keyboard there. And if I select this track, I can go to EQ. You can see the frequencies. You can see all the frequencies that I've cut or added in John's keyboard track. Because if you're not cutting frequencies here and there, cutting low end, the mix is going to sound very cluttered and very muddy, and you're just going to get annoyed. And so you want to spend time going through those channels and just listening to just the keyboard. Or I want to go out of this and I want to hear just an acoustic guitar, or I want to hear just Dylan's voice, or whatever it may be. it has a little too much reverb on it, but you kind of get the point. So, and then again, when you have everything done, you go down to save, and you want to go save edit. So those are just the basics of what's going on with this. I don't want to save the changes. I'm going to X out of this, and I don't want to save the changes because I've changed stuff to the mix on this particular project. But if I want to close all of this, now that I've got everything saved, I just come up here, unexpand my window, and then there's Waveform and hit quit. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell, basically how Waveform 8 works.